Welcome to Creepy Narratives, where the shadows hold their secrets. In this installment, we delve into the chilling chronicle of No Man's Trench, a spectral saga that blurs the horrors of war with the echoes of the supernatural. Join us as we traverse the harrowing landscape of battle and the unexplained, uncovering the harrowing story that etched its mark on history. This is Creepy Narratives, and the haunting of No Man's Trench beckons. Amongst the chaos of a war-torn landscape, No Man's Trench snaked its way through the scarred earth like a festering wound. It had once been a mere defensive line, a collection of muddy ditches and crude fortifications hastily erected by soldiers. But as the war raged on, No Man's Trench transformed into a living nightmare, a place where the horrors of warfare merged with something far more sinister. In the heart of the trench, whispers of unease swirled among the soldiers, like the perpetual mist that clung to the battlefield. Tales of a specter draped in tattered uniform had become commonplace, an apparition that seemed to feed on the fear that permeated the air. The war had birthed its own horrors, but this was something different, a malevolent force that seemed to thrive on the misery of battle. Soldiers on watch would speak of faint shadows that danced at the periphery of their vision, accompanied by chilling cries that melded with the distant sounds of artillery fire. Those who dared investigate found nothing but the remnants of war mud-caked uniforms, discarded weapons, and the ever-present stench of death. It was during one fateful night that Private James Harris encountered the full force of No Man's Trench's horror. James, a young soldier with a boyish face that had seen too much, was assigned to sentry duty. He stood alone, rifle in hand, his breath forming misty clouds in the frigid air. The night was unusually still, the sky devoid of stars. James felt a creeping unease settle in his chest, a sense that something was profoundly wrong. As he scanned the desolate landscape, a figure emerged from the mud and barbed wire, its hollow eyes fixed on him. James's heart raced as he raised his rifle, but it jammed as he desperately pulled the trigger. The figure drew closer, its footsteps a wet, squelching cadence that seemed to reverberate in James's very bones. Panic seized him, and he turned and fled, racing through the trench's twisting passages. Each corner revealed more of the phantom's ghastly form, a faceless visage contorted in eternal agony, a uniform shredded by unseen forces. The walls of the trench seemed to close in on him, the very earth itself shifting and contorting as if the terrain rebelled against his escape. James was trapped in a nightmare, a cycle of running and being confronted by the relentless apparition. As the night wore on, his cries for help merged with the symphony of war, swallowed by the cacophony of explosions and distant orders. When dawn finally broke, his fellow soldiers found him collapsed in the muck, muttering of twisted corridors and the ceaseless pursuit of the figure. James was never the same after that night. The horrors he had witnessed had etched their mark deep into his psyche, and his words were met with skepticism by his comrades. But those who ventured into No Man's Trench were changed. The apparition, a tortured soul born from the despair of warfare, seemed to have a taste for the living, forever hunting those who dared to tread upon its domain. No Man's Trench became more than a battleground. It became a haunted realm where the living and the dead merged in a tapestry of horror. War itself had summoned forth a malevolence that could not be contained by mere weapons and fortifications. The story of Private James Harris served as a chilling reminder that in the throes of conflict, sometimes the true horror lies not in the enemy, but in the depths of human suffering. For years, soldiers passing through No Man's Trench would leave behind crude markers, symbols etched into the trench's walls as warnings to those who followed. They told of the phantom that stalked the mud-caked corridors, of the whispers that echoed through the air like the mournful cries of the fallen. The story of No Man's Trench lived on, passed down through generations of soldiers who had tasted the horror of that place. It became a legend, a cautionary tale whispered among troops about to embark on their own journey through the horrors of war. And as long as the trench remained, so did the haunting echoes of its past. The spectral figure, born from the anguish of battle, continued to prowl the mud-choked corridors, a silent sentinel of the horrors that unfolded there. The haunting of No Man's Trench had transcended time and place, a grim reminder that the scars of war ran deeper than the surface, reaching into the very fabric of the human soul. It was a story that would never be forgotten, a testament to the enduring power of fear, and a warning to all who dared to tread upon the battlefield's haunted ground. And there we have it, the haunting tale of No Man's Trench, a glimpse into the darkness that lingers where the horrors of war converge with the unknown. If these enigmas have piqued your interest, remember to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. As we part ways with this eerie journey, may your curiosity persist, guiding you through the realms of the uncharted. Until our paths cross again, remain curious, and let the mysteries of the world fuel your imagination.